Welcome to Garden-Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today it's time for another Plant of the Week video. Now this year I am focusing on water efficient perennials. Some of them are not so water efficient and some of them are more water efficient. And today's perennial falls somewhere in between. And I think that you will be a little bit shocked which plant it is because most people think that this plant is very, very water efficient. But I live in the Intermountain West in Utah. It's high desert, the short season, very little rain, and very hot summers. And that is the coneflower. I found that it is not as water efficient as others, but more water efficient than some. So let's go look at coneflowers and I'll tell you how it works on my property. Now we're going to start here with this coneflower. This one's poking out at the top of my Parfianca pomegranate. And if you go all the way down here past the pomegranate flowers, let's see if we can get all the way under. There it is. Now this area does only get water once a week, and so this coneflower seems to have fared a little bit better. Most of my coneflowers need to be watered about twice a week. But the base of this one is in the shade. We've got another stem there poking out. This is the first time it's flowered, but it's been in this spot for about 4 years. I've never had the heart to pull it. I've just let it do its thing, and it has finally decided it's going to flower despite the harsh conditions. So they are a very tough perennial. Now this is my front yard where I plant the bulk of my perennials, and you can see the coneflowers poking out, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I know a lot of people absolutely love purple coneflowers because of their beauty and the ability to attract pollinators. Let's see if we can find any. We don't have to go very far to see one of the pollinators that seems to love my purple coneflowers the most. It's the bumblebees, especially those with the red backs. And I bet we find more. Yep, we found more here. These flowers, this is late in the evening, so there's less of them. But these flowers seem to attract a multitude of bumblebees. Now I also want to show you another video that I took. They also attract butterflies. So they are very, very worth having in the garden. And there's another cute one. Now we also have some coneflowers tucked back in here. These are reseeded purple coneflowers. I did not plant these. I don't know if the birds planted them by eating the seeds, but they've ended up back here. And yet another, I don't know the name of these bumblebees, but it's the ones with the red back that seems to love this the most. Actually, this one does not have the red back, but it is another bumblebee, a native bee. Oh, yep, actually it does have the red back. They absolutely love these. Now there are many different varieties of coneflowers and many, many different colors. There's whites, yellows, reds, oranges, and even some with a touch of green. I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures of some of the coneflowers I took at the nursery that I work at. And even though there's a lot of colors of coneflowers, it seems like the purple coneflower, the more native variety, seems to be the one that reseeds the most and seems to be the one that has the longest lifespan. Now, coneflowers, even though I say long lifespan, they only live to be about 3 to 4 years old, then they will die, but they reseed enough that they perpetuate themselves. So I am constantly weeding coneflowers out of my garden so that we can have them in just one spot. It's the only spot that I want them in, and it is a little difficult sometimes to keep them contained. Now, if you want a huge area full of coneflowers, just let them reseed themselves and you will have a perpetual patch of coneflowers. Now, the specialty ones that I talked about, the whites, the oranges, the ones with the touch of green, they don't seem to reseed themselves as often, and also they don't reseed themselves to come out as the same because I think they're hybridized varieties. Now, coneflowers, the care of them, they can thrive in varied conditions. They don't mind the alkaline soils in our area. And I've seen natives from the East Coast that probably do a little bit better in the acidic soils of the East. But they're most abundant and easiest to grow in the Midwest. Now, as for water, what I've found in my soil, I do need to water them twice a week or they wilt horribly. Most of the other plants that I have in my front yard, I can get by with watering once a week. Now, I have been mistaken on my soil composition. This area, we're on the edge of We're on the edge of the Rocky Mountains. We're at the bottom of what's called a scree slope, where all the rocks tumbled down because we're at the bottom of the beach of an ancient lake. And it's typically heavy clay and a lot of rock. But the homeowner that built this house brought in about 6 inches of a sandy topsoil. So the top 6 inches of my soil is pretty much sand. And once you get down below that 6 inches, you get rock and clay. Now, the plants in my property don't seem to mind that, but despite the fact that here in Utah there's a lot of people that can grow the flowers that I grow and only water them once every 2 weeks, I've found that because of the sandy soil that I have as topsoil, I need to water mine at least once a week. So maybe that could be part of the reason why my coneflowers need to be watered twice a week rather than once a week like I've heard. Now, the other thing about coneflowers is they don't like a lot of fertility. So when you plant them, you can fertilize them when you plant them, but you don't need to fertilize them after that. They do benefit from a mulch to hold in the moisture. Now, I don't know of any insects or disease that affect coneflowers in my area. Maybe there's some in other areas, but I have not seen any issues in my area. A lot of people like to leave the flower stalks up for the birds over the winter, but when you do that, they do reseed pretty prolifically and you'll get a huge bunch of coneflowers in your area, and they don't necessarily stay put in the area that you plant them. So I like to deadhead mine just to mitigate the weeding that I have to do so that I can keep that patch under control. Now, I would love to hear your favorite color of coneflowers and how well they grow in your area. Now, I'd also love to know if there are any pests or diseases that affect coneflowers in other areas. So hopefully this video has been helpful. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.